Hey, everyone, it's Jack Matirko
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
and me, Andy Hall. This is funny because we were just talking about how white my background looks. And I am literally going to be I had a buddy of mine, I'm doing this film shoot tomorrow. And he called me up and he's like, Andy, I need another white guy for this particular scene. And I'm like, I am your man.
Because you are generic white guy.
I'm super Caucasian, and if you right from Central
But
Castings.
you're not. That's not actually true, right? Because you're bi, and
I am bi. Yeah.
So I mean, like you're not the stereotypical white guy. You're not.
Well, I have the look. That's what they would say in
You have the
Hollywood.
look
I
of
have the look.
white guy, but
Yeah.
you're not stereotypical white guy. So how does that
Absolutely
change your perspective on what stereotypical white guy is?
Well, it's interesting being part of the in group while still being part of the out group at the same time, and that has really informed my opinion on people within my clique in terms of because white people tell each other things, Jack Matirko. I don't know if you realize that. And some of it's like, I don't think that's correct. I think that could be wrong.
Part of this delves into a bit before we've known each other, right? Like, because as long as I've known you, you've been kind of serial monogamist.
Oh yeah.
With women.
Yeah.
So I've never seen. I don't know if I've really seen by Andy. Right?
You haven't really. No, I don't think you really have seen. Well, every once in a while, I'll make comments that are not heteronormative.
Yes,
right.
That's true. Yes,
I will make that because I am not going to self-censor myself. I think of things and I'm going to say them in an appropriate way within the medium that I'm operating in at that particular time. That's a nice way of putting it, right?
Yeah, you're very good at compartmentalizing.
I am very good at compartmentalizing. So yeah. I'm quite happy being bi Andy or pan Andy or whatever Andy I am. And also, growing up with a disability, that also gave me an outside view looking in while still being in the group. It's so that has definitely informed. What's that?
Did you feel like a spy?
I felt like a spy who was discovered and beaten on a regular basis. How's that for an answer? Positive, keeping it positive here, Jack Matirko.
So you just did a stream where you played an old episode of The Naked Diner where we talked to Rick Heller.
Rick was a great guy.
Yeah. And what was fascinating about that is when I tuned in, I didn't know you were replaying a thing.
Yes.
Rick was talking. And I heard him say a chunk of stuff. And then all of a sudden I heard my own voice responding to it, thinking exactly the same thing I was thinking at the.
Yeah. Weird. That is weird. Because that conversation we had back in 2015, I think, which seems like eternity. That was an eternity ago. That was before you became a dad.
It was before we lived through the Trump presidency.
Yep. I was freshly divorced. I literally came out of the oven. Yeah.
This is a very weird period for everyone, I think, because everyone's lives just kind of took a left turn. And there's nothing to be done for that, right?
Right.
Like, the content that we have put out just in perpetuity. And
exactly. And looking back at some of those old episodes, I'm going, we did some really good work on the Naked Diner podcast. That was some good stuff.
We did do some really good work on the Naked Diner podcast.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the work that we did on the Naked Diner podcast in a lot of places.
Yeah. So that's why, since we didn't have a guest tonight, I'm thinking, well, we should just replay one of these old one of these old podcasts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I'm sure, because I've seen the download numbers, I know that a lot of people haven't heard it. So
right. Yes, they have not heard it. And I'm going to rearrange my camera here.
No,
So,
and there's a few that I like really harken back to. Like, I think all of the episodes we had with Dale were great.
yep. Dale was always great to talk with. The W. Kamau Bell episode.
The Kamel Bell episode is fantastic. And
the Leanne Lord episode when she came on and talked about comedy and humanism. Yeah, that was great.
Desiree L. Stage. We got into some really fun places with Desiree, and fun, quote unquote. But interesting. We got into interesting places with Desiree, and Desiree has got on to bigger and better things.
Well, I follow her on, and Desiree, for those of you who don't know, she is, they. I'm going to use the pronoun they. They are doing suicide awareness, as I recall, and you might remember what Desiree does specifically. She was doing a photo encyclopedia or group of, or a set.
She would go around the country and essentially it was photojournalism. Right?
Photojournalism, right?
She was going around the country and taking one really good picture of that person. Yeah. And then they would tell her about the time they tried to kill themselves.
They're survivors, survivors of suicide attempts.
And
and that was she was on the show a couple of times.
We raised a fair amount of money for her.
Yeah, we did.
A swear jar thing.
Oh yeah, we did a swear jar, everyone. And who put in more money, Jack? I think it was probably me.
I think it's usually you, but
it's probably me. Yeah,
that's just because I hung out with the comm kids, and they all learned to not swear.
Right. And the thing is, now that I'm on YouTube, I feel like I have to clean up my language a bit.
Yeah.
So I've calmed my shit down.
I think that you have the linguistic chops to circumnavigate profanity.
That's what I like to tell myself. That's what I like to tell myself.
I think you can get the same idea across.
Yeah,
if you have to.
I should say hello to people in the chat. B, glad to see that you're here. B, Ian Davenport, Dr. Mordecai, Tobin Templeman, of course, glad to see that you're here. Ian Davenport, and Simply Secular Dave, and Theo. Yeah. So here's a question from Theo. Solid Topics. How did that podcast come about? We've been atheists.
Okay, so the Naked Diner came about. I was doing the Left Hemispheres podcast with Steve and Adam and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And we would do our weekly news review thing. Then after that, you came on and we were all very drunk.
Yeah.
I believe the episode was entitled "Andy, Why Is the Rum Gone?"
Yeah, Andy drank a lot of rum. Unsurprisingly.
And then from there, you did a couple of regular pieces for us. Like you would do 5-minute skit bits.
Yes.
For our show. And then that show fell off because Steve had another kid.
Yeah. That'll do it. That could do it to a lot of people.
Yeah, that threw the show off the rails. Yeah. And then, we both didn't have any podcasting things going on, so we just started talking to each other.
And I have to tell you, we've been doing something. Well, I've been vlogging for a long time, for well over 10 years. And we've been doing something like this, obviously, since at least 2015. And every single time I've been in a talking about relationships, it's like, this is just part of the deal. This is just, I am not going to lie to you. I don't make a lot of money from what I do, but I'm very passionate about it. And I don't really see myself stopping anytime soon. And that has always been like,
that would just feel weird to not make stuff at this point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'll tell you this, just between you, me, and the people here in the chat. So I was my kids came over today because it was my oldest boy. It was my oldest birthday today, and so he's sitting at one end of the table, and my 16-year-old, who's gotten this huge burst of creativity lately, and she is a really talented artist. And I don't even know what she was talking about, but she had like my intensity while she was talking about it, and just something like weird. I'm going to myself, is this how I explain World War II to people? Is this how I look when I start talking about, I don't know, anything that I'm really passionate about? And I think it is. And it's somewhat disquieting, to tell you the truth. It's a little disquieting.
My problem here is with you calling, and I hate to say it this way, but my problem here is with you calling your daughter a very talented artist, because we've never actually been to an art gallery together. We got into cemeteries together.
Oh yeah, well, that cemetery is beautiful.
It's a beautiful cemetery. I agree, but we've never been to art galleries together, and therefore I don't know if I can accept your well, what you think art is and what great art is.
Listen to you being a skeptic. So going back to what actually Theo was talking about, the question. So Rick, I knew Rick through the Humanist Hub that is now gone, unfortunately. That was in Harvard Square for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. And I knew that Rick still does the secular humanist meditation group every Tuesday night. Well, they're doing it on Zoom now, but after the pandemic's over, he'll be doing it back in person.
But Harvard Humanists, that
there is still so even though the hub is gone, the physical place of the hub, there's still Harvard Humanists. There's specifically through Harvard University for university students.
Building doesn't mean you're not around.
Right,
sure.
Right. So so I knew that Rick had written this book, and I thought to myself, well, this, I know Rick is a really bright guy. He got a degree from MIT in engineering. I think he has a degree from Harvard too. And I wanted to read the book. I read the book and I thought to myself, man, he's got to come on the show just so he can talk about this, and because you don't hear about it that often. You hear Sam Harris talk about meditation, right? But what Rick was doing was talking about it as a teacher and really opening up the topics that I haven't heard Sam Harris,
Sam Harris just kind of, here's my experience, and I'm just going to let this sit where it is. Kind of.
Yeah.
It's weird. Those 4 horsemen names have been coming up a little bit lately. I've noticed that I've seen conversations regarding Dawkins kind of coming.
Well, Dawkins, I think whenever Dawkins tweets something, we always have to talk about Dawkins a little bit. I think I was drunk on Atheist Drinking Out Loud on Saturday, and of course that came up. Dawkins, one of his tweets.
He pisses somebody off every week, and I guess it's a way to keep your name in the press, but I don't know if it's the best way.
I think he just does what he's going to do, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's like, have you really thought this through? Have you really thought this through before you tweeted it?
Yeah. Well,
unlike me,
I don't know if you've ever tweeted something less than complimentary at Mr. Dawkins, but the people who tweet around those comments are
when
less than friendly.
Yeah, this is true. I don't go on Twitter to start beefs with people. I'll make comments. I'll make jokes.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're inflammatory. What can I say?
Because Twitter's a good space for that, because every once in a while when somebody, there's always opportunity to throw in a zinger on Twitter.
Indeed, ideas, and that is the proper way to say the word too. I will still say that to my dying day.
The R on the end?
The R, right. That's the Queen's English.
Yeah. Those are just all the R's you lost from all the other words you pronounce wrong.
Well, this is true. This is completely true, Jack Pacheco. That is a good point. You lose the R's in some areas, and you just throw them in somewhere else.
You just throw them in somewhere where they don't belong. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, dude? We haven't talked to for the last week or so. What have you been up to?
We just finished the whole Satanic Estate Grey Faction conference thing, which was amazing. And if anybody hasn't seen the videos, they're going to be up on TST TV soon enough. I don't know when, but soon enough. And it's 14 just solid hours of amazing people talking about amazing stuff.
What did you learn? The most important thing, the thing that comes right up to your mind. What is the thing that you learned that you didn't know, of course, before walking into it?
I learned that in the infrastructure that we're working with, there are small third-party vendors who do a better job than YouTube. But
really?
there are problems with them too. That's what I learned. All of the Satanic Panic stuff that everybody was talking about, I kind of knew all of that because I knew most of the people who were talking, and I knew most of the stuff they were talking about. And I already knew all the general information, and I was just the tech guy who was running the video and stuff.
Right.
It was very much, hey, I know why you're here. Welcome to the Zoom meeting. Okay, I'm going to kick you out on stage. There was a bit of Kermitness to it.
Like the Muppet Show?
Yeah,
like Muppet Show?
Yeah, like there was this stage manager feel to it where, because we were doing several presentations a day, and it was my job to make sure that everyone was on the call before it went live, kind of thing. So there was very much just kind of, all right, so hey, you're here, cool, okay, here's what you're going to talk about, and everybody's happy, and blah blah blah. So the green room talk, the green room chatter. Like I imagine if you're doing stand-up shows, and there's someone whose job it is to say, hey, you're on in 5 because the last guy over 10, right? So it's the same kind of thing, and it was that job.
Oh, that job. All right. There are worse jobs to have.
There are worse jobs to have, and it was a fun time. People said a lot of really interesting things, and it was good. That's
good. Hey, did I tell you I'm seeing my, I don't know, I've been talking about this a lot lately because I'm me and I'm narcissistic. Did I tell you I'm going to go see my mom next weekend?
Your real mom?
Yeah, like my biological mom.
Where is she?
North Carolina.
Are you fully vaccinated? Are you allowed to fly to North Carolina?
I'm not flying. I am driving, sir. That is a 12-hour drive because I'm a soldier, and that's how crazy I am.
Yeah, no, I've done all of those legs of that drive. So you're going to take the 95.
Yep.
Are you going to switch over in DC or no?
Well, we're going to do it all matters what time we hit. So we're going to leave here at 5 o'clock in the morning next Friday, and my girlfriend's coming along. So we're switching back and forth on the drive.
That's good time, okay. So by the time you hit DC, you're.
So
which day of the week are you leaving?
We're leaving Friday.
So you have Friday afternoon rush hour in DC.
Well, I don't know, dude, because we're
experience.
we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be around DC sometime in the mid-afternoon, maybe early to mid-afternoon.
Yeah, from like between 2 and 7.
Yeah,
have fun with that.
Oh, we're going to take the loop around. We'll see what happens, right?
No, the loop around is like, oh, no.
I don't know. It all matters what really Google Maps tells us at the time. It all matters. So, my mom's having some health issues. I've never seen her before. I want to see her healthiest as possible.
People in DC drive very different than people in Boston, and you need to be aware of that when you're doing what you're about to do.
Well, I think by that time, my girlfriend will probably be, or the girlfriend, as Simply Secular Dave says, she will probably be driving at that point because I'm probably,
sure.
Yeah, you give her the hardest part, right? That sounds like me. So I actually have. This is the crazy. I haven't told you the craziest part of this yet. I've already got my first shot. I'm getting my second shot the day before we go down to North Carolina.
So yeah, and once you get it's you're at least it's in there.
Yes, it'll be in there. Well, if you get one shot, you're already at 80%.
In there, and you're seeing family.
Well, yeah, but family, yeah. So I'm like I said, the biggest problem is that I'm going to be getting my second shot the day before I do this crazy drive. So hopefully I won't have any side effects. And the reason why I'm doing it this Friday,
there's been more than a lot of chatter about that second shot side effect.
Yes.
However, everyone who I know who got the second shot has had limited, very, very small problems with the second shot.
Well, this is my cunning plan. If I'm going to put on my Broderick.
It's a cunning plan to avoid driving.
My plan is that I was talking with my girlfriend, who happens to be in the business. She is, in biopharm, and she says, most of the side effects kick in 24 hours after you get the shot. I go, all right. So I get the shot, I don't know, 2:00 in the afternoon or so, and then I drive like a madman from 5 a.m. in the morning till, I don't know, 2:00 before, if I have any side effects. And then I'll load up on aspirin beforehand. I'm a healthy person, relatively. I think I'll be okay. But it is a crazy, crazy plan. That's what it is. And I'm starting work, too, at the end of the month. So that's the reason why I'm thinking to myself, I'm in this kind of, crunch for time.
Yeah.
So it's either I do it now or, it may not work out well.
No, but let's not focus on the vaccine. Let's talk about this you meeting your mom part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a much bigger deal because the pandemic's only been here for like a year and a half, and you haven't met your mom in what, like 50 years?
I've never met my mother. I have had a few conversations with her and texted back and forth. She is 72 years old. I am, What I have been doing is working out some of the feels beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, and I say things like, I think I'll be ready for the entire experience, when I think I know there's no real preparation.
No real prep for that. Yeah.
There's no real preparation because, a real core of my personality is based on two different things. One of them is having the disability from a very early age and being able to work around it. And the other, to be blunt, is just the loss I felt from not knowing my biological mother. So those are two of really the driving forces in my life or in my psyche, and connecting with her and knowing who she is. That's a heavy fucking lift. That's what it is. It's a heavy lift.
Tons of mice in the chat that's a lot of allowance to collect.
That's a lot of allowance. That's right.
Really good.
How I Met My Mother, best spin-off ever. Right. So yeah, I told my daughter that I'm going down there, and she's
hey, the Goldbergs got on ABC or
yeah.
You could write a series about
white
guy going to meet his parents for the first time.
And also some of you may not know this.
Tearjerker, and
I am a big liberal. You may not know this, everyone, and I'm an atheist, and you might pick up that I'm not exactly heterosexual either. So my half sister knows almost all of that. My mom I have given her selective information, and the rest of the family, which happens to be large. I come from my birth mother, her side of the family is exceptionally large because I guess we breed like rabbits. which I can kind of attest to. Those are a couple of long stories there. So,
So
yeah,
you got a lot of cousins, and
I got a lot of cousins, dude. I got a lot of cousins, and actually,
so,
I just
is there a sense of information overload where you're kind of
well, you may not know this about me either, but I'm somewhat of a public personality.
I've noticed.
I seem to place myself
I've
out
been
there.
there for all of it.
Yes, Jack Matirko, you have been through all of it. So, yeah, I just had one of my sister's nieces give me a friend request on Facebook. I'm going, I have to check her profile to make sure she's not a Trump supporter. I have to make sure, that she basically isn't a crazy person. And so she seemed to check out. And so I gave Rebecca, my half sister, a message just to see. So, this person just sent me a friend request. She seems like a good person. And I put a little question mark in parentheses. And
In parentheses, I'm fascinated by the way we're starting to augment punctualization.
Yeah.
In our new online reality.
Indeed. So I got the thumbs up.
Back to
what's that?
Going all the way back to Abraham Lincoln and the time that he put what I think is technically an emoji in the Gettysburg Address.
No, hey. I was on an earlier stream today.
Derail.
Oh, that's okay. I was, well, this is a space where we can derail, where there's easily tangential conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to make this sexual. I didn't want to make it sexual about railing. And that would be a whole nother tangent right there. That would be a whole nother tangent. But basically, yes, I want to try to control some information so that the entire family doesn't realize I'm some kind of big atheist gay commie.
I mean, you're very lucky because what are they going to do? Google Andy Hall, one of the whitest names ever, and just have a ton of shit that's not you?
This is true. I think if you Google my name, you will actually find someone who works in petrochemicals, who's like a petroleum oil baron. So what's your expectation of meeting your biological mom, Andy? Just curiosity of finding another family connection. Really it is, and I was talking to my kid about this. She's like, so what are you doing? I mean, so how are you feeling about this, Dad? And I'm like, I am doing the thing that needs to be done because it's the thing that needs to be done.
That was a good answer if your kid asked that question.
Yeah. And
although there is the outstanding your kid going, Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, well, and the thing is that
kids are old enough now.
She was able to accept that answer and then walk away and head back up to her room. So I don't even know. I don't even know theoretically.
You're fine. All right, you got it.
Yeah. I know it's the thing that I feel like I need to do. Because I'm heading. I'm at least in the third act of my life, right? I'm 52 years old. I am firmly, maybe I lie to myself and think to myself, this is like the beginning of my third act. But if I am going to reconnect with her, if I am going to connect with my biological family, then this is the time to do it. So. Yeah.
What part of North Carolina? What part of North Carolina? What is it again?
Outside of Raleigh. So you have it's near a military base. There's
Raleigh. I'm just thinking that if you're really going to do this, what you should do is take the train and just Jack Kerouac the fuck out of it.
Oh well, that is. I think it'd be a lot longer if it was on the train because of the stops. And let's face it, the train's not
right on the train.
Yeah, I think that would, you see, because I do want to do this all in a weekend. That's what I want.
Time constraints. Yeah.
The time constraints, because I start work that Monday too. So when I get back, I get back on Sunday, I sleep it off, and then I do my stream, of course, at 9 a.m. to 11, and then I go to work at noon time. What's that?
Not going to miss that one.
I think
okay.
People underestimate exactly how much work I put in.
Everyone underestimates how much work everyone puts in.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. You know, those of us who create content and just treat it like a job, you know, we do treat it like a job. And so, yeah. I'm missing streaming tomorrow morning. I'm missing out on all my shows tomorrow that I usually do, and that's because I'm at this film shoot for a buddy of mine who's done a lot of good work and who's helped me out quite a bit. So you know, he called me up and he said, "Look, you know, I'm doing this film shoot tomorrow, and I need your help." It's like you don't even have to tell me what the film's about. You know, you know I'll be there. So yeah, but I won't. But I can't do everything at once.
To pretend to know what's going on.
Yeah, you know, I'm just a yes and person. You just tell me what to do, and I'll be like, yes. You know, just do that whole improv thing, and I'll just go along with it. Whatever you need, just tell me how to look. Just tell me what kind of look you need from me. So yeah.
Well, good. That's exciting.
So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on.
Like things are more or less going well for both of us. So,
God. Well, once again, we've known each other for so long. Right, we've seen each other, let's say, at very good points, and maybe not so good points.
Oh, there's a story about that, but I don't think it's one I can tell live.
You can't tell that live, brother. You can't tell that one live. All right, so I'll tell you what, I gotta get to sleep because I have a big day tomorrow. I gotta get to sleep.
Yeah, no, I'm very glad that we can dig into this back channel and just have a talk every once in a while. That's fun. Yeah,
dude. And yeah, I don't really get to talk a lot about this whole upcoming trip with too many people because it's the fucking pandemic, right? And who am I going to talk to in person? So yeah, this has been therapeutic for me.
Oh, well, great.
Yeah. All right, everyone in the chat, thanks for showing up. Jack Matirko, we're taking next week off, of course, because I'm going to be in North Carolina.
Sure.
But we'll be back the week after that.
We'll be back the week after that talking about whatever it is we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people that are interested in coming on. So it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be.
All right, everyone, take care. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for contributing. I appreciate it. And I'm going to hit the magic button.
Bye.